All right, we have the dirt layer. What about the rock layer? So let's move everything down out of the way and let's start working on the rock layer. And just like the dirt, the first thing we need is the landscape data node. Now, in order to create the rock, we need some textures. So in the textures part, we have these 5 textures, and I'm going to be using this fractal chip texture. And let's put in a geometry node and put in the position vector. And there we go, we have some very nice rock going on, but I think the details are a little too small, so I'm gonna increase the scale to have these a little bit bigger. And we can use this height output as the bump for the rock. So I'm gonna create a bump node and I will put in the height. There we go. And then connect this to the normal. Let's just lower the color intensity for now. Let's see the normal. All right, now we can go back here and increase this height to make the normal stronger or decrease it to make the normal weaker. So I think in this case, I'm going to set this to something like that much. We have a little bit of bumpy surface going on, but not too much, because too much will make things look weird. There we go. So we start to have some rocky looking textures, but we are not there yet. We can then use this texture to control the color of the rock. So let's create a mixed color node and put this texture into the factor. All right, and change this to soft light, and this color A will be the base color of the rock. So I'm going to set this to something like this. Then we can configure the the color 2 for the soft light. Maybe something like this. All right, this should be the base color of the rock. And next we will be using the convexity attribute of this node to further refine the color texture. So create another soft light node and connect this convexity to color B and connect this result to color A, and let's see. Now there's a little bit of a problem with this convexity, because these areas, these are not just black, these are negative values. The parts here, these parts are 0, right? But these parts, these are negative values. So in order to get rid of the negative value, we need to normalize the convexity map like so. So we have the convex area as 1 and flat areas as 0.5, and we have concave areas as 0. And let's see the result. So you see we have a slightly better rock texture. And let me just duplicate this, and I will set the color for this one. This will be our base to compare. This is before, this is after. You see we have more details. Everything looks just slightly better. You see, this one is boring, everything is just gray. And this one, it's much more interesting. You see, we have these cuts into the rock right here. Next, we can also use the flow channels to further enhance the color of the rock, because the parts where the water flows through, there should be some mossy stuff growing, or it will affect the color of the rock somehow, right? So there should be some color variation based on the flow as well. And again, I will have to decide between the flow and end flow. And I think the end flow is a little bit better. So I'm gonna use the end flow. And for this particular rock, I think I should choose a dark color for the flow. Perhaps I should use multiply instead of soft light. And again, I can use the map range node to further enhance the end flow channel. And let's make the channels grow a bit bigger and reduce the opacity a little bit, like so. And let's have a look at the result. You see, it's better still. Every step we did, the rock texture looked a little bit better. Now, depending on the type of rock, we may have some horizontal details like this, right? Now, let's say I want that kind of details for my rock, right? So I can go to here and have this height info node. We have the true height info and we have the normalized height info. So in this case, I'm going to be using the true height to generate the the horizontal details. I can now create a texture. You can use one of these textures, or you can use Blender's built-in, whatever you want. In this case, I want something very simple, so I'm gonna just use a simple noise texture, and it's gonna be 1D. There we go. And let's reduce this scale to something small. There we go. So you see, we now have some very nice horizontal details. Now I can use this to soft light mix with the base color. There we go. Very nice, right? Alright, I like this texture, and it's about time I mix this with the dirt. So I'm gonna once again use the landscape data to mix the colors. I'm gonna create another mix node like this, and I'm gonna put in the dirt attribute, and this time I don't need the normalized dirt, but we have some dirt sticking on top of the slope, and depending on your purpose, you may or may not want this. So let's say I don't want this for now. I'm gonna create a map range node, and I'm gonna get rid of the parts with little dirt, like so. So the part with too little dirt will be removed, and you see the dirt are sticking on top of the slope. This is actually possible in reality, but for the sake of tutorial, I'm gonna say I don't like that, and I want to remove these as well. In that case, I can just go into the utilities section and use the select slope node. This slope selection node will select based on the slope, and I can configure these parameters to select whatever I want. Let's say here, these parts will not have any dirt whatsoever. And so I can combine these two together using a math node, like so, and I'm gonna multiply. So you see, we have a very nice mask like this, and I can stick this into the factor input of the mix node, and let's see. So you see, I've just gotten rid of pretty much a bunch of dirt on the slope. Alright, let's go down here and bring these up. And I'm going to connect the color of the dirt to this color B right here. And let's see. So you see, we have some very nice and high detail landscape. And I can go back here to configure the color of the mountain. Let's say I want it a little bit darker. Next, perhaps depending on how much details you want to add to your landscape, you may want to have some macro variation for the rock as well. So in this case, I'm just gonna add the macro variation for the rock. And I think let's say this macro variation. And again, make these smaller, 3 or maybe 1. And I'm gonna have some dirt looking color, and let's see. Alright, this is good. I can have multiple macro variations. For example, I can now have something like this as well. 3. There we go. And let's see the result. It looks much better, right? And I can just continue to stack the macro variations until I have the details I want. Alright, but let's say I like this as is. Next, how about we bake these into image textures so that we can use these with Eevee.